All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Citations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. In all sincerity, shalom to the elect among the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but and be like unto the speckled bird, but the Spirit bears witness that they're with our spirit that they're the children of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and Shalom to the real sisters out there that are actually staying in order and could be members of the elect. And Shalom to all the elect out there, man. All right, so this is gonna be basically a Bible prophecy update. Like, hey, more nation versus nation action this time you have the 1948ers, which are mainly Esau. Of the chief house of Satan. The one that the Most High Yahweh said he would have war with forever, man. The ones which control YouTube. They have a wish to be us, and the Palestinians, which are mainly Ishmael. But I say mainly due to the existence of speckled birds, Israelites that have been scattered among the nations. And, you could have a little more, you could have a little more of them scattered among those Palestinians, especially the ones that are really catching hell. But anyways, let me get into, as well as some of the 1948ers, you got a few of them that are people, as well. You got some of them, for the most part, it's Esau, it's Esau versus Ishmael, and let me get into these prophecies that these different nations would be turning against each other, man, and these different kingdoms as well. This, the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhoods in the West Bank, I think it's in East Jerusalem. They're having them. So it's like, it's a part of the West Bank, which is considered to be like a separate kingdom as well. So also kingdom versus kingdom. So let me get into it. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Hey, you're seeing more of these nations turning it against each other, not just Esau, the so-called white man and the 1948ers versus the Israelites, which are primarily so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, but also, these Esau versus these other nations, and these other nations versus each other, and that's all going to heat up, and That's gonna lead, and you got a hardliner president over there in the land of Israel, and you got a hardliner president in Iran now, and the Iranians. It's no secret that the Iranians is willing to back up the Palestinians and shit. Like if shit really go real, they try something crazy. If the 1948ers try something crazy, which they probably are because you have you have that devil. Now Tally Bennett, man. Now that devil. He's the prime minister, and they put him in there for a reason. Like they all puppets, but he was put in there for a reason. As a right winger, like a far right winger, to advance like a war agenda, bro. Basically, they're the war party, man. They're there to they're there to advance a war agenda, you know, agenda, agenda to push war with who? The so-called Palestinians and the rest of Ishmael and the so-called Iranians, the Persians, the Elamites as well, you know. So this devil, man, he's gonna capitalize on this, bro. And I'm gonna look up what he said about it, them race riots, because you look that up, and it's motherfuckers throwing shit at each other and all that. Shit's going down in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood, bro. So hey, that nation versus nation shit heating up, yo. It's getting real, and we're gonna see what that devil's saying about it. He ain't say none say none yet, but you already have you you already have hold on. Like you're gonna have, I don't know if it's oh yeah, next week. So okay, this is old. This is old, okay. Alright, let me hold on. No, it's been okay, I was looking for okay. This devil did say something about the situation over there because it's being heating up. But these devils are basically they're evicting those so-called Palestinians from the land over there, so they getting pissed off. This is what caused it to heat up even more, yo. Let me get into this article. It's by Haaretz. It's a 1948 newspaper over there. All right. The decision by Attorney General Avichai Mendel-Blit not to intervene in the eviction cases in Jerusalem's Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood gives apparent support to the settler thesis that this is a simple civil case of landowners trying to remove squatters, but the decision ignores the decisive roles that state authorities have played in turning a right-wing settlement organization into the owner of a neighborhood where hundreds of so-called Palestinians live. It begins with the laws that discriminate between so-called Arabs and so-called Jays with regard to all property owned before 1948, continues through decisions by the Custodian General's Office and the Justice Ministry to release the land to its historic, so-called historic J-ish owners, and ends with the states shirking its responsibility for the so-called Palestinian residents who were settled in the area by the sovereign government at the time of Jordan. In 1948, many people abandoned their property and fled to the other side of the border. Most of them were so-called Palestinians who left an enormous amount of property on the western side and fled east. A very small minority was so-called Jays. Some may have been real ones, by the way, because you have people scattered among them who, believed in the OT and all that only. Yeah, some scattered among them, but they lost their heritage too because lost the name and all that, and then ended up, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much lost their heritage too. The very few Jakes that are scattered among them as well. But because the so-called Jays, the land, I have to say this because of the algorithms, but the so-called Jays in the land, they fit none of the prophecies. They're prospering, but they're going off. You have homosexual pride parades going on in the land. You have oral circumcision going on. This is from conservative, basically meaning old school synagogues. So they've been doing this shit. So they fit none of the prophecies. Like going off, violating the laws, still prospering and have been for a while. And then being in the land too. So, they don't belong there, man. Scriptures speak about them being in the land, but they don't. Hold on, let me get it. One scripture that comes to mind is a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Just want to touch on this subject, Salakia. That's what I meant. Real quick before going further into that article. It was also prophesied that our land would be divided among the heathen. Let me get Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Because where's Ashdod today, man? That's on the west coast of the land of Israel. It's where these so-called self-proclaimed Jays live. And also, let me get let me get that prophecy about our land being divided among the heathen. Joel 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, in that same time period, right? And it gets into it further, showing you that a great war got to happen before our people was delivered. The last war, actually, war to end all wars. But let me fuck on, bug. Let me verse 2. I'm continue reading. I'll also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You know, hey, Esau and Ishmael, they parted our land, you know, and scattered our people. You know, after this great war spoken of in Joel 3, which is going to lead to this war too. Yeah, Joel 3, the rest of it speaks of it. And hold on. Yeah, this war, you know, is what it's leading to also that. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares in the swords, and your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You know, hardliners, right wingers in power and bold in both the land of Israel and in Iran. Weak saying they strong. Verse 11, assemble yourselves, come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Verse 12, let, you know, especially, you know, dealing with you know, the Iranians, so-called Iranians, they wasn't thought of as a threat until now, you know, till recently. They didn't really have it till recently, you know. But, you know, even that 1948er state of Israel over there, you know, there was a time when they didn't have nukes and shit. They was being backed up by Babylon. You know, they was depending on being backed up by Babylon and shit more than they are now. But yeah, Khan, let me get into it more. Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. You know, and that's the Middle East area. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Verse 15, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Verse 16, you know, speaking of the nukes that are going to fall, it's going to cause that. Verse 16, Yahweh shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and earth shall shake because of the nukes. You know, the skies, the mushroom cloud, right? And then the earth, of course, it's going to cause a great earthquake. All them nukes hitting the world, particularly one area, you know, the Babylon the Great, known as America today. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. Verse 17, so shall ye know that I am Yahweh your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain, and shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. And there's a point. Then shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Both the place and, through us where we're at. But yeah, man. Let me get this as well. Showing you Esau was going to divide the land. And now I'm going to get that leads to the flock scripture. Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel 35. And hold on. Actually, verse 5 of 36. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoke against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. It's just another way of saying Edom in Greek, which have appointed my land unto their possession with the joy of all their hearts, with despiteful minds to cast it out for prey. And that's what they've done. So they've done. Let me start off from verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Verse 1 does say it. Verse 2 does say it. The Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Verse 3, even calling it the state of Israel. Nothing but Edom, filled with Edomites and heathens. Verse 3, therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith yet the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. That's how the true children of Israel are looked at. That's how they are treated. We are a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and taken up in the lips of talkers, or proverb and byword. The curses are hitting our people. And call all types of bywords, racial slurs, all kinds of negative stereotypes attached to our people. Hey, like what that nigga Biggie said, man. Stereotypes of, because he's a 2/3, that's why I say that. He is a 2/3, but that 2/3 Biggie said. Stereotypes of a black man misunderstood, a so-called black man misunderstood, because that's a byword. It's really stereotypes of an Israelite misunderstood. That's what he should have said. Instead of that, but he's a 2/3. So let me get into I see someone was watching, it was like, the fuck. But they didn't understand. I should have said 2/3, nigga. Biggie. he was a 2/3. But yeah, those who know what we mean by that. But anyways, yeah, man, all types of negative stereotypes misunderstood, and bywords, proverbs, attached to our people, and are an infamy of the people, you know, infamy of the people we look down upon. These so-called Jays, are they looked down upon? Have they been looked down upon? No, they're bigged up. People say they're the real Jays. You know, people say they're the real authentic Jays, man. Shit, hey, but they're faker than that shit from Chinatown, bro. But people say they're the real thing. So basically the world is upside down. But let me get verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which become a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are around about. Verse 5, our land has become a prey as well, our people and our land has become a prey for Esau and for these heathens. Verse 5, therefore does say the Lord Yahweh. Surely, just leading up to that, the Idumeans possessing our land, the best parts of it. And then the residue of the heathen, those Ishmaelites over there as well, possessing our land. With the joy of their heart, of all their heart, with the despiteful mind to cast it out for a prey, So that shows you that it was prophesied about, and also the times of the Gentiles. Times of the Gentiles, the time of the Gentiles coming. Times of the Gentiles is coming to an end. Our land is going to be cleansed of those devils and heathens that's inhabiting our land right now. Matthew 24 and in Matthew 24. Wait, hold on. The time of the Gentiles. Let me look up that scripture and talk about that. It's talking about heathens, actual heathens. Luke 21 and 24. Basically, it's the time that these Gentiles would trample on us and on our people. Hold on. Prophesied by Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls JC. Luke 21 and 12. Hold on. 24. And they shall fall by the sword. By the edge of the sword, this is speaking of 70 AD, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles till the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. But Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place, but also the land, is being trodden down of the Gentiles. Also, how it's a lot. Also, how the people of Jerusalem is not there. The people of peace is this ongoing war, you know, this ongoing war in the land. So, hey, that's how you know, man, when our people will be back in, if those were the people, of the Lord over there, he wouldn't have no more war, period. Everything would be peaceful. The Messiah, Yahushai, which means he saves, he delivers in the ancient Paleo and original Hebrew. He would be back in the land. I mean, he would be back, you know, but he's not. He's not, obviously, and there's constant war in our land and around the world. The vibration of war is out there, because who is running the world and who possesses our land? The people of war. Esau, Edom. The self-proclaimed so-called white man, and the self-proclaimed so-called Jews is just self-proclaimed so-called. It's just so-called white. It's the same people as the so-called white people. But let me get hey, the time of the Gentiles is coming to an end, bro. Time these heathens. Oh shit. I said the J words, so now they glitched my shit out. But the time that you can't criticize the 1948ers. That's like a cardinal commandment of so-called J-tube. But anyways, let me get that this is, hey, time and Gentiles coming out. It is coming to an end. And let me get, hey, these 1948ers, they're going to play a major role in that, as prophesied about in Jeremiah about the least of the flock shall draw them out. Speaking of these Idumeans, these Edomites, because these 1948ers are like a minority among these Edomites, which are actually the minority. These Edomites are not the majority; they're the minority. They're small among the heathen. But let me get they just have us. Jacob is the majority. They just have our people divided up against each other into a bunch of minorities. But let me get Jeremiah 15:45. Speaking of it, let me just get it. It's the way that Babylon is going to be taken out. It's the way that America is going to be led to its destruction. Jeremiah 15:45. America is the most, like, basically America is like a bitch of the 1948ers. Let me get Jeremiah 15:45. So you could see this happening. Let me get it. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Um, you know, verse 46, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Because of the nuclear war that's going to result, because this is going to result in heightened conflict. It's going to result in shit heating up between the 1948ers and the Iranians. Because you have Hamas involved in this shit, and like Hezbollah backed up by Iran for sure. So you have them. So you have the 1948ers backed up by America, by Babylon, and then you have Hamas and Hezbollah just backed up by the Iranians. And then they're backed up by Syria. Hezbollah is backed up by Syria, who's backed up by the Iranians, who's backed up by Russia. It's like it has spit something out. Russia gonna be a guard unto the Iranians, unto Iran, unto Persia. So that's how that's gonna go down. And hey, yeah, that's how it's gonna go down. Hey, the least of the flock, the 1948ers, which are, the 1948ers, which are really the tribe of Amalek. You're really the tribe of Amalek. They're gonna bring their own nation down, and their own queendom that they rule down. Hey, funny how that shit work, man. They're gonna be the ones. Hey, Satan is gonna bring Satan down. Hold on. All right, Shalom, I'm back. All right, so, yeah, man. Hey, that's how Babylon gonna be taken out, cause they backing up them 1948ers over there in the land, cause the 1948ers control Babylon, and they also control the rest of Esau. They the chief tribe. And let me get. It says it's prophesied the same thing. Like in Jeremiah 49. Same. I was prophesied same shit gonna happen to Esau, Edom. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Edom and against his purposes that he had proposed. Matter of fact, let me get 19 because this is an important point. There's an important point in there as well. Verse 9, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? Who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Hey, basically, the Most High Yahweh gonna drive far from us the Northern Army. That goes into that as well. It's the Northern Army, North American Army, the U.S., the U.S., the U.S., man, the U.S. It's in North America. It's gonna drive far from us, the Northern Army, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So it's all there. Verse 20. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Edom and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Verse 21, Teman is so-called Germans. Those are the Edomites calling themselves Germans. Verse 21, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. NATO military that's gonna be driven into that's gonna be driven far from us into the Middle East. They gonna get wiped out, and the Babylon gonna be the last one standing because these EU nations are gonna fucking just be done with it, man. They're not gonna be down to fight for Babylon and these 1948ers no more, man. They're gonna be like, fuck that. Ass is whoop this shit in for what? We not benefiting. This is a parasitic relationship here. The relationship they have with Babylon is parasitic. It's like the relationship Babylon have with the 1948ers is parasitic. Each feed on each other. Esau feeds on us and feeds on the other nations. They're parasites, man. The other nations feed on us too. Esau does it more. In fact, the other you already know, man. But anyways, hey, Obadiah goes further. It speaks of the men of his confederacy. Might even be in Jeremiah, man. Hold on. The men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the portals in Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 7. all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All the men of his confederacy have brought him even to the borders, prophesy to heaven. He's in 8 told countries. They're gonna, they're gonna deceive. They got, they're already contemplating this. Hey, we gotta stop letting Babylon USA run us, man. We gotta stop letting America, boss us around and shit. There are already talks of that, which is why there's talks of a separate EU army and shit. There's already talks of that. All the men, they're getting ready to do that, man. Really, everyone fucking with Babylon for the bread, man. Everyone fucking with Babylon because Babylon is the biggest consumer nation ever. And also Babylon is the biggest bread basket. Well, one of the biggest bread baskets of the world. A lot of the world's food is grown here, as well as in Europe and China, and other parts of Latin America, but a lot of, especially grains, so literally a bread basket, man. Literally a bread basket. So both bread in that sense and bread in the sense of the fruited plain, right? There you go. And bread of from that song America. Beautiful. I say America is really the toxic and spelled with the triple K. Hold on. Let me get yeah, but anyways, yeah, man. America, Babylon is even even the European nations is getting tired of taking Babylon's bullshit, man. Tired of fighting wars for Babylon and shit. They getting ready to do away with this place, link up with Russia and shit. In the very end, they're gonna do it. The whole world is against Babylon, man. And you think these EU nations is gonna defend that parasitic relationship, that toxic relationship? No, man. Nah, they gonna destroy this place, man. But yeah, bread in both sense of the words, man. Being the biggest consumer nation out there, and being like pretty much one of the world's biggest bread basket, or like one of them. Let me get Revelation 16, 17 actually. 17 and 16 talking about the 10 horns, the men of Esau's confederacy. Esau's sword. Esau really runs the world. Well, the elites of Esau, which rule the house of Esau, the so-called Illuminati, right? They're based out of London, man. A lot of these bankers live in London or in other parts of Europe, but they use Babylon, America, to run the world. America, the hammer of the whole earth. The military arm of the Edomite Roman Empire is in America. That's why you have the Pentagon here. Pentagon is like the military headquarters of Esau. NATO is really run from the Pentagon. You have the Pentagon, and you have, the Vatican. That's like the false prophet. The Vatican is the false prophet. The Roman Catholic Church, along with all these other churches that fall in line with Rome, these so-called Christian churches. That are really anything but whorehouses, really. Islam came out the Vatican too. So the Vatican is really Esau's religious capital of the world, of this worldwide empire, the revived Roman Empire. And in London, the city of London, that's like the banker capital, man. Runs both the military and religious capital. So it's really run out of London. Really run out of the city of London. But Esau's sword, which is his blessing, is here in America. Hold on, Hakim. All right, Shalom, back on it. Shalom. All right, so yeah, the Vatican, that's the religious capital of the false prophet. The whole is America. The military is here in America. The sword. The whore rides the beast, right? So the beast, you think of a beast, you think of muscle. You think of like brute strength, like military. You think of something militaristic. And that is run from he's a beast, he's a warrior. So yeah, Esau's beast system run from Washington DC, from the Pentagon. Then you have then London, the religious system run from the Vatican. And then London, basically the city of London is where the Rothschild family patriarch is at, man. The city of London. And then you have other Rothschilds live in other European cities. They don't live here in America. They live in European cities. Because I gotta try to keep that short, but basically, they're not gonna live where they fuck shit up. You don't shit where you eat. So but all that's run from London, city of London financial hub. So just wanted to do a little synopsis on that. And I'm basically, just wanted to go over that real quick. But yeah, the beast, that's the NATO countries. America, the whore that rides the beast, controls NATO. Also EU countries as well, NATO/EU countries. Just want to go over that. Verse Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Verse 17, for power Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, and to the words of power Yahweh shall be fulfilled. Yeah, that's why they've been working in lockstep. But now, this time it's gonna be a change, man. This time, NATO is gonna turn on Babylon. The last war NATO is gonna fight is gonna be on Russia's side against Babylon, America. Verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city. And it's going to come to pass, man. There's a toxic relationship there. It's not going to last. Verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Yep. How? Babylon, the military. And I also want to go into the kings of the east. As well, I got to go into that. But let me get hammer of the whole earth. That's America, Babylon, Babylonia. Babylonia la Grande. Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon became a desolation among the nations? That's what's going to happen to this hammer of the whole earth. Military bases all over the world, particularly around Russia, China, Iran, also close to Venezuela, Cuba, probably too. There's a military base in Cuba. Oh, 1 hour, 44 seconds. Kala, Yalba, Shimyal, Shaiba, Shimmer, Kadash, more signs. Let me get Revelation. Wait, let me get this. First, a snare is also was also set for Babylon, yo. Verse 24, I've laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou was driven against Yahweh. Verse 25, Yahweh had opened his armory, and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Verse 26, come against her from the utmost border, open the storehouses, cast her as heaps, and destroy her utterly, that nothing of her be left. This is coming from all this. I heard a wasp. This is coming from all of this. From this, man. This is the culmination. Basically, this is the end result, end all be all. Verse 27, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their days come the time of their visitation. Also something else that's interesting is that Babylon is known for the cattle industry as well. Hey, bruh, the rodeo. The rodeo. What made the rodeo big? I mean, you have bullfighting out in Spain, but the rodeo, man. The rodeo is really what made that big, man. And that came out of what? America. You know, took off from America, Babylon. So, you know, all signs point to this. Just want to bring that out. All signs point to this land being Babylon the Great. Verse 28, the voice of them that flee and escape out of land out of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power, the vengeance of his temple. Verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon. O ye that been the bold camp against it, round about, let none thereof escape. Recommence her according to her work, according to all that she had done, do unto her. So, yeah, you know, it's what's going to happen. They're going to pay for what they did to our people. And supporting them 1948ers, you know, really, this is the 1948ers cash cow, man. According to all she had done, due to her, for she had been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Khan. You know, America the proud. Proud. You know, everything about America screams Babylon. Everything. Most proudest ever. Proudest of the proud. The Marines. The proud, the few, the proud, the Marines. It's all there. Pride is bigged up to the max here. Homosexual pride pushed out from America. Pride, pride, pride. Proud to be an American. It's pride. Pride is big here. We're in Pride Month. And July 4th, everyone's going to be proud to be an American. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people. But that's what they teach you, dude. Pride. Consume individualism. Pride. Have pride in yourself. Pride is the spirit that pride is the vibe here, man. You know, America, this place got a very proud spirit, especially in the places where a lot of people was proud to be an American. Those places have a very proud spirit. So there you go. The pride also shows you. Let me get hold on. Hey, Kala Yahba Shim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash Logan Osai how basically, you know, he basically, you know, show me ways to elaborate on it, basically like illustrate like something like this, like for example, how America's Babylon. Let me get there's a scripture that I thought of. Hold on. What is it about this place being a cash cow? What is it about? Hold on. You think? You think? Ah, fuck. Hold on, Akim. Let me get Oh, the way of the kings of the east, Khan. Oh no, Kala Yalba Shim Yal Shai Ba Shimmer Kadash. Let me get Revelation 16 and 13 and 12. Let me start there. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, showing you where it's at. And the so-called Middle East. All right. And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Verse 13. And I saw three unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophets. Verse 14. So going back to what I mentioned earlier as well, the mouth of the dragon, that would be where the Rothschilds at. They're in direct contact with the spiritual demon Satan as well. That is Esau, the Roman Empire's real headquarters in fucking London. Out of the mouth of the dragon, mouthpieces, right? Out of the mouth of the beast, America. The whore rides the beast. It's out of the mouth of the beast. And out of the mouth of the false prophet. And that sounds like a toxic relationship, by the way. The relationship with the whore has with the beast. But let me go on. Let me continue. Let me continue. Stay on topic. Now the mouth of the false prophet. Rome, the Vatican. Verse 14. For they are the spirits of devils. So out of the mouth, this vibration they're putting out, For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which spirits of deceivers, right? False accusers. That's what devil means. Working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth, so lying spirits, which go forth unto the kings of the earth, the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of power Almighty Yahweh. Verse 15, so Joel 3 speaks of it. But verse 15, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they say they see his shame. Verse 16, and he gathered them together. And let me expound on into a place in the Hebrew. I'm going to go into that as well, what I was going to go into. But yeah, verse 16, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, really Harmageddon, since there's no E's or O's in the Hebrew, it's Harmageddon. But yeah, man, these hey, they tell you lies through the vision, right? That's how there's spreading. That's how this lying spirit is gonna be spread. It's gonna be sent out through the television, man. Through the television. You know how TV works, man. It's just through the air, or through a cable, or through a satellite. You know, it's a way that media gets through. And media is plural, is many. Media is plural for medium, and a medium is a witch. So that's like a form of witchcraft. I mean, that's a tool of witchcraft, not a form, a tool that they use. That witch uses like, hey, basically it's like a portal, yo. Basically, you know, it's an interesting fact. Also through your computer, also through your phone screen, those portals as well, where they send out data, information, media through the mediums, mass media, a lot of media, a lot of mediums, a lot of medium. So they're gonna use, that's, you already see that they're doing that. They're using their propaganda. They're using their propaganda machines to push war propaganda. That's what that's speaking of. Prepping you to go to this war, man, to fight, to basically be on the side of this war, you know, and demonizing already in advance, demonizing those who would be against it. Those who, you have this big, you know, let's calm down some, but you got this big so-called anti-Semitic scare that happened not too long ago. That basically the 1948ers pushing, not only that, basically saying that they're the true Shemites, which is they are Shemites, but they didn't get the blessing of Shem, man. The Israelites did. And also something else. Also, you look at it like this. You have yeah, man. Like, and also demonizing those who would be against a war to defend the 1948ers from a war that they started with Iran because tensions got heated between the 1948ers and the Iranians because of one factor, one of many. The sanctions is a part of it. They know the 1948ers are behind it. Well, also the acts of sabotage on Iran as well, on their nuclear sites and on their computers that they have and all that. Attempts to overthrow the government of Iran many times. Many times. Attempted coups, attempted to overthrow the government, bombing Iranian forces, Iranian-backed militias in Syria, and even Iraq, the murder of Soleimani, also the assassinations, the murders of those Iranian scientists. You also have that. You know, just provocations after provocations by the 1948ers against the Iranians. Eventually Iran is gonna snap. Either that or the 1948ers are gonna stage a false flag and blame it on Iran, maybe perhaps on on American soil, man. Blame that on Iran. Either way, it's going to go down. A part of the way tensions are being heated up between the 1948ers and the Iranians is Israeli 1948er versus so-called Palestinian conflict. Because Ishmael is also getting tired of the hypocrisy there as well, man. And Elam, these, which is Iran to East India. They're getting tired of it. So they're getting fed up, and they're gonna show you how fed up they are, man. Hey, man. Like, they're provoking Iran, man. They're provoking Iran, and so they're provoking Russia, the bear. One of the kings of the East. Russia, Iran, China, the big ones, as well as many others. Many other people with thee. This is the battle. This is the battle of Gog and Magog, spoken of in Ezekiel 38 as well. The same one that's going to result from this. In Babylon and the 1948ers are going to be blown to fucking shreds. Blown to ashes. They are fucking missile fodder, man. Walking missile food, walking charcoal. Majority of the people here is walking charcoal, except for the elect of Yasharallah. 1/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and you specklebirds, here at home, as well as, the elect scattered abroad. That 1/3 is also scattered abroad, that great multitude. And I believe the 2/3 of 2/3 are going to be destroyed, Yeah. So the 144K, and then the rest of the 1/3 will be saved out of Babylon, or wherever they're at. But the bulk of our people are here in Babylon. Let me get in Babylon, or the Western Hemisphere, majority of our people. Because you have Northern Kingdom countries. But you have a lot of immigration from Northern Kingdom countries to Babylon. A lot of refugees coming over here, The real reason is because, it's 2/3 that gotta be judged, man. A lot of 2/3 gotta be judged, and maybe you have elect among them as well. It's gonna be delivered from this place. Let me get of course. Let me get Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them. Verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, because they're Edomites too. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and bring hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Yep. He's gonna bring hey, hold on. He's gonna bring, those Russian Edomites, Russian devils, which, Like the 1948ers set the Edomite Russians up over there too. You know, they set this up thinking they're going to win in the end, but they're not. They're going to be destroyed, and the elite are going to go into slavery. First fruits of slavery, the elites of Esau and of the heathens. Verse 4, now I'll turn thee back and turn thee back to that Soviet state of mind, which is already happening. I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Verse 5, Persia, Iran. For example, that Soviet state of mind, you have their jab that Russia pushes out. It's called the Sputnik V, man. Come on. How much more obvious can it get, man? Hey, bro. Vladimir Putin was a KGB agent, and he brought forth the FSB, man. Well, it's happening. They back in that mindset, ready to go head on with Esau, Edom, with Babylon. The bear versus the Roman, Edomite, Babylonian, modern day Babylonian, spiritually Babylonian, Edomite eagle. Verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Persia, Iran, the Elamites, Ethiopia, you know where they at. They pretty much kept their identity. Libya, where Libya's at. Self-conflict over there. Prophecy's going to be fulfilled. Gomer, Turkey. Hey, especially when Gomer, Turkey, come into the fold, because I believe they have, they're involved in Libya and shit. I believe they got 4 groups over there. They're arming groups over there, because there's a whole civil war in Libya right now. It's been going on. So when Turkey jumps in, takes the side of Russia and Iran and them, and Syria and them, well, that's gonna just, that pull Libya, bring Libya back into the fold, because Libya was a part of that alliance. Even before Russia came back, Libya was still part of that alliance. You had Gaddafi over there. He got overthrown. He got murdered by Esau. He was trying to, Gaddafi was a threat, so they took him out. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Gaddafi, what he was trying to do was trying to free the whole. But first off, they wasn't a Rothschild-owned bank, and then after, now Libya got a Rothschild-owned bank. Also, they was trying to basically take Africa off the dollar and shit, unite Africa on their gold dinar and shit. And also, Libya was with Iran and shit, and Russia and China versus Babylon. I believe Libya's gonna be back in the control of that alliance, especially when Turkey, it's basically fuck Babylon, fuck Babylon for life all the way, and fuck NATO for life all the way. We're with the Russians. That's when you're really gonna see that happen. Hey, yeah, man, it looks like that would be the case. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, them Central Asian nations and all his bands, them former Soviet bloc states, and all his bands, and many people with that's China. The world's largest army coming out of China and North Korea. North Korea as well. So them as well. Shit, even India going to join in. All these heathen nations are going to eventually turn on Babylon. And then NATO too. That's what's going to happen. Be thou prepared, verse 7, and prepare for thyself thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Yeah, man, they gonna be a guard. They gonna be a guard unto these. They gonna be a guard. Russia gonna be a guard unto all these countries, man. Well, they already are. That's already being set up. And they gonna come at them 1948ers, but they awesome. But they gonna take them out. They gonna take Babylon out. Where the actual Israelites are at. They're gonna take the fake Jays out, and they're gonna take 2/3 of the real Jays out, man. And the real Israelites, Northern Kingdom out as well. Weird how that works, man. As well as the rebels of those speckled birds that scattered among the fake Jays, and also among those the so-called Palestinians, those Ishmaelites. You have speckled birds scattered among them, and not all of them are going to get right. So not so twofold. A land that is brought back from the sword. Land and people that is brought back from the sword. All these nations, our people are like fucking have been asleep in Babylon, yo. At ease, even though being oppressed, been at ease because they've been lightly sustained. So that's all it takes. They've been at ease and promised justice, all that shit, right? And that's all it takes for our people to be like, all right, massa. So that's talking about America and our people being at ease over here in this land of unwalled villages, which has no real defense against the Russians and the Chinese. They really, nah, man. Like, just look into Russia's military technology, man. Like, Babylon is through. And that's just Russia's. You have China's too. North Korea, what they've been cooking up. Shit, Japan, you don't think Japan will get their payback once they get to? All these nations, man. All these nations and countries, yo. Japan was been working on nuclear energy, right? Quoting, quote. And quote. Nah, bro. But anyways, yeah, man. It ain't all nuclear energy. But anyways, hold on. Hold on. Hey, Babylon is fucked and they don't know it. But let me get this. It's a precept I got I gotta go into these precepts. Verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come back into the land. Hold up. Actually, let me get some verses in Ezra that line up with the other verses I was reading. Let me get that. Second Ezra chapter 15. Let me get one people shall, let me get that one too. Verse 15, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against. Verse 14, woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. You know, he also had that in streets of East Jerusalem, Sheikh Jarrah. Let me get verse 27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for power Yahweh. Oh yeah, that's talking about something else. The 2/3. Verse 28, behold an horrible vision. You know, actually let me verse 28, behold an horrible vision. Hold on. Let me get verse 24, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. Say it, Yahweh. Verse 25, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. Verse 26, for Yahweh knoweth all of them that sin against them, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. Verse 27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For power Yahweh shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against them. Verse 28, didn't repent. Verse 28, behold an horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east. Verse 29, when the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Ishmael gonna get down. Verse 30, also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste the portion of the land of the Assyrians. Yup. Gonna lead to this. A land of spiritually Assyrians, which is about same as spiritually Babylonians, America. And also they're going to be driven out of the actual land of Assyria and Iraq over there, northern Iraq. Verse 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn in themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Verse 32, then these shall be troubled. Yep. Remembering their nature. Esau, Ishmael is a wild man, and his hand shall be against every man. It goes into the prophecy about Ishmael. They don't play. Ishmael don't play, man. Verse 32, then these shall be troubled, bled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. It's going to lead to more nuclear war. Verse 33, and from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. Nuclear war. And their whole shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. House divided shall not stand. And their host shall be fear and dread, and strife among their kings. Yep. A house divided shall not stand. If Satan be divided against Satan, how then shall his kingdom stand? Matthew 12. Matthew 12. Matthew 12 and Matthew 12 and 25, 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Yep. Strife among their kings. Verse 34, behold, even 25. Hold on. Verse 34, behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. Verse 35, they shall smite one another, they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star. Nukes. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. Verse 26, and dung of men unto the camel's hole, your upper leg under your knee. Oh, the camel though. Camels are tall. Shit, fuck. Verse 37, and there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. Verse 38, yep. Trembling, fearful times. Verse 38, and then shall there come great storms, no time like no other. And then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and another part from the west. Verse 39, and strong wind shall arise from the east, and shall open it. The cloud which he raised up in wrath, and he star stirred to cause fear. Toward the east and west wind shall be destroyed. Verse 40, the great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star that they may make all the earth afraid, and then them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out over every high eminent place horrible star. Nukes. Energy. Stars are pure energy. Nukes are like, I believe, like way hotter than the sun. I believe a nuclear bomb is like way hotter than the sun and shit. And so you see, the what it means there, Second Esdras was using language, figurative language too, language that also was, for people his time would understand. Oh shit. Speaking of strife among their kings, Texas tip of the spear. Texas governor leads revolt against Biden. Babylon is through. Yo, yo. Okay, okay. Is a nuclear bomb hotter than the sun? Hold on. They say it's yeah, it is. They say it is. For the most modern nuclear weapons with high efficiencies, the fusion plasma temperature can be over 500 million Kelvin by the time the reaction is complete. The sun's core is 16 million Kelvin, so hydrogen bombs can produce temperatures up to 31 times hotter than the sun's core. Yeah, so it is a horrible star. Let me get 144, 1 hour 44 minutes. Kala Yao Bashim Yao Shai Bashim Rakah Kadash. More signs. Fire, fire and hail, verse 41. In verse 41 too. This 14 verse. Fire and hail in 40. This verse before. So you put those two together and you rearrange the numbers, you could get a 144 out of that. You know, it's all there. Verse 41, fire and hail. Just what is meant by that. Fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. It mean nukes, nuclear fire, nuclear missiles, you know, small ones to big ones. Verse 42, and they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood and grass of the meadows, and their corn. Verse 43, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. Verse 44, they shall come to her and besiege her, the star, and all her wrath shall they pour upon her, and shall the dust of smoke go up into heaven, and all that be about her shall bewail her. Verse 45, and they that remain under her shall do service unto them that put her in fear. You know, hey man, all these countries, all these nations and kingdoms is gonna turn on Babylon, man. Hold on, All right, Shalom, I'm back. All right, I'm gonna go back to where I was in Second Esdras. Oh yeah. You know, I was going into how all the nations is gonna turn on Babylon. Yep, that goes into that as well. Small among the heathen, because they're only doing this because following Esau, because Esau ruling right now. But they getting tired of it. I think they see Esau going down. Obadiah 1 and 2. Or Jeremiah 49 and 15. Behold, I will make thee small. Verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, and it's all payback for what they did to our people. They gonna kill each other for that. And you know, Esau's gonna pay the ultimate price for leading the charge. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shalt altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. You're gonna drink it to the dregs and double. Verse 13, for I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. Nuclear waste, right? Verse 14, I've heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Verse 15, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Verse 16, that thy terribleness has deceived thee. You know, they think they all big and bad. Most High Yahweh got something else coming for him. And the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. You know, through and through. Verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, like damn, like that. Like damn, not like hiss is like damn, like that. That's what it means. Verse 18, as in overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. No, you're through and through. Stick some, just stick more than a few missiles in it. Sticks missiles in it. Oh shit! No, they say stick a fork in. That's where I get that from. Stir. Ready for the taking, ready to be taken out. Let me go to Obadiah 1. Obadiah 1. And hold on. In fact, let me get this. Oh, give unto her double, Con. Revelation 18. Ah, shit. Nets. Nets. Gotta take care of it. Slack. Verse 6, rewarder, even if she rewarded you in double according to her, double according to her works, in the cup which she had filled, filled unto her double. Verse 7, how she glorified herself, lived deliciously, and much torment and sorrow give her. For much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So with that, I want to wrap it up. I want to give all praise to, wait, let me get, I think I'm going to get verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Yahweh, the Lord power Yahweh who judges her. With that, I'm going to wrap it up right there. This place is through. Because that's going to end up leading to this place being through. You devils are through, even you heathens are through. No more, no ruling, no more, no ruling over us. No rulership for y'all, man. For Esau or the heathens, y'all going into slavery. Babylon being destroyed, that the 1948ers state over there being destroyed. Y'all going down, man. Y'all going down. You know, Esau. Enjoy the time you got, because 1,000 years of death road and it's over for you. The heathens, y'all gonna have 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, but y'all gonna go back to your land after that. All right, just we ain't got that much long to wait. Akim and Akwas, gonna be out of here soon. Shalom, yo, I'm back. Esau tried to block my mic and my cam. That was hurt. But I noticed they do that sometimes. But, it's just a minor nuisance because I could just undo it. But let me get. Oh, yeah, I was wrapping it up. All right, so, oh, yeah. Well, it was buffering. Yeah, we come into that day. Like spoken of Revelation 18 and 8, there for shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and the famine, the day of Yahweh Shem Shai, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, with fire, salak, with fire. For strong is Yah, the Lord, strong is Yahweh power who judges her. Yeah, this place is through, it's over with. Our people gonna get delivered. Starting with the elect. The elect is gonna get, well, 2/3 not gonna get delivered. The 2/3 gonna be destroyed, and the rebels also around the world and shit. Hey, but don't you hopeful elect out there. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep persevering. Keep enduring. Keep pushing and push on until the end, or until you can't no more. Meaning until you RIP. Until keep pushing this word. We're gonna keep pushing this word until the famine of the word, which is coming soon, and just keep striving, keep persevering, keep the faith until the end, until the curtains close and end this year. Which is coming soon. All right, so that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Stay strong, stay strong out there, and hey, shalom, yashrala, which means Israel. If you comes yashrala forever. Debt to America, Abba Paul. Hey, hey, until next, yeah, wrap it up right there. Until next time, shalom. All right. Until next time, shalom. Wrap up like this. Until next time, shalom. Abba Paul and Yasharallah forever.